welcome to Createspace Online. Here we give you guys at home the opportunity to paint along with me to create some really exciting pieces of artwork.
For Createspace this week we're looking at the weather, so I thought we would do a stormy lighthouse picture when there's lots of weather and there's dawn just breaking in the corner. For this art you're going to need your paper, brushes, water, primary colours of blue, yellow, red, black, white, and a ruler, a pencil and a rubber. I'm going to start by drawing the coastline at the bottom, and that's a cliff top. And then we're going to draw in a lighthouse. You can use a ruler if you want to. And the lighthouse is going to be sitting on the top of the cliff. So I've done two lines which are slightly going towards each other, and then on the top is the light for the lighthouse, and obviously a little roof on top of the light. I'm going to put some windows down the side of the lighthouse. And in front of the lighthouse I'm going to draw a little house. Perhaps that's where the lighthouse keeper lives. With his roof and a couple of chimneys and some windows and a door. And they're perched up high on the cliff overlooking the sea. So on the other side I'm going to do some trees so that we can see that they're really being blown about by the wind, just to help give the impression of a storm at sea. Next we're going to draw the horizon, and you need your ruler for this because it's one straight line right across the paper, and the horizon is where the sky meets the land. So I'm going to draw a couple of lines out of the lighthouse just to show that the light is shining. And I'm going to paint that in first, a bright yellow light coming out of both sides of the lighthouse. Now next we're going to paint in the lighthouse, and I've chosen a kind of grey colour. Now really the lighthouse is light, but this painting is going to be just at dawn, just as the sun is coming up. So the lighthouse will look grey, and it helps to give it some shape because it's not flat, is it? A lighthouse is round, so we want it to try and look a bit round. So there's grey going down one side of the lighthouse and blending across. And I'm going to do the same with the little house at the bottom of it. So I'll put in some of the details on the lighthouse in a slightly darker colour. It's almost black actually. So I'll paint in the windows and the bars around the lighthouse tower. And then we're going to use the same kind of technique with the little house at the bottom of the lighthouse. I've got a slightly bluer grey to do the roof. And I'm going to paint in the windows dark, just like on the lighthouse itself. And the body of the house is a more of a bluey grey, but it's still quite grey. In the door and the window I've just done another shade of grey, really, a slightly reddier grey for the door. Now we're going to paint in the land, the cliff top, And we're not going to use a bright green, we're going to use a very dark green. So mix your If you're mixing your greens, you can just use yellow and blue, but use lots of blue, and you can add a bit of black in as well to make it dark. And it's dark because it's the dawn and the sun isn't quite coming up yet, so it's almost still night. And I've used my brush strokes. I've dabbed the paint on with the brush strokes so it looks as if the grass is moving in the wind, in the storms. You can be quite rough with this. It's not smooth, it's all textured, because then it looks like it's moving. The grass is moving. And then we're doing our trees. And I'm using my brush to show that the wind is blowing them. I'm painting the marks as if it's being blown by the sea, blown by the wind rather. Next we're going to draw the sea in, and we go along that horizon line, and again it's going to be a bluey black you've got there because this is still nighttime. But you can mix in your colours with blues, bluey black, bluey green. You can mix them all in because the sea never looks just one colour, it always looks lots of colours. And again you can use your paintbrush to kind of dab the colour on, so that you can see then that the sea is moving and it's a storm. I'm going to leave some patches white, and we'll paint those in later because those are going to be the sea spray as it crashes up against the cliff tops. And now we'll do the night sky. So I've chosen quite a dark grey. I'm just going to paint in the night sky. And again, we're going to make it look like storm clouds by using dark, dark blues and blacks and dark, dark greys. Just blend them into the light from the lighthouse because the light is shining out through the dark. You see I'm kind of swirling the paintbrush over the night sky. Now what we're going to do down in this corner, in the last corner of the horizon, is we're going to be doing it in a little bit of a pinky purple colour, and that's going to be where the sun is coming up at the start of the day. And it's the end of the storm then. Just along that horizon line. Now I'm going to get some white and I'm just going to dab it on all over the edge of the cliff so that it shows that the waves are crashing up against the cliff. So all those white spaces you left, that's what you're going to fill now with some white paint. And where it mixes with the blue paint, that's fine. It just kind of looks more like sea spray. And we're going to do it crashing up against the lighthouse too. We've got a really fierce storm going on here. And again, dab the paint on. Don't use big long brush strokes. It's big spray that's coming up. I'm going to flick some paint on. I put some paint on the end of my paintbrush and I'm just tapping it on the end of my finger, and that flicks the white spray all up onto the painting, all around the lighthouse, so it's crashing up the cliffs and up onto the grass. You can use a bit of scrunched up tissue to blend it in a bit more as well if you want to. Just some more details going in on the windy trees, so that it really gives the impression of the wind blowing them. And I'm going to make the top of the hill a bit darker too. And there you go, a stormy lighthouse at sea.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you've had great fun today creating.